Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. Excellent. Very good. So this is the finance work in Engage for 2022. And again, welcome to the Center for Student Involvement Finance Department. So the team, right now, the team is just me, it's Luz Patterson. I'm the Assistant Director for the Finance and Operation. We're going to be having very soon a Finance and Operation Coordinator, which will be helping us with all your needs when it comes to the Finance Department. We're hoping to have this person by most likely the mid-September or so. What we're going to go over today, very quick, we're going to see how CSI Finance supports your organization. What can you spend your organization funds on? We're going to be doing a little bit overview of the finance page. How can you, navigate through it? We're going to learn about the purchase request, submission timelines, contracts, co-sponsorship, deposits, fundraising process. Some of you do that, so we're going to touch into that. And then last but not least, subscriptions and renewals. Just as Davanta mentioned, please, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. We address it at the end, or if not, just wait and just put your hand up and feel free at the end to ask the questions, okay? Very good. So the first thing is how CSI Finance supports your organization. So what do we do in our department? What we do is we manage your organization's account, whether you have a revenue account or the one for the student activity funds, we will take care of that. We're going to review and approve all the purchase requests that you submit, and we're going to make all the payments that need to be done, whether for speakers, simple purchases, any kind of payments. For money to come out from your account, we are the ones that are responsible of making those payments, okay? Very good. Sometimes you may have questions. What can I really use the money that we have for? Can we use it for anything we want to? Well, we have some guidelines from the university, and some of those are the acceptable uses are for cultural, social, and educational enrichment programs, recreational and social activities under policy guidelines, student media publications, student organization travel, and this has to be within prescribed limits, no airfare travel at all, and any other student services that may come out. What you cannot use for sure, the money are in alcohol and tobacco purchases, personal gain, any type of donations, individual membership fees, fundraisings, unless 100% of the proceeds are donated, gift cards, monetary prizes, and international travel. Those are some of them. There's some other usable things that you can do and you cannot, but these are kind of like the basics. If you have any ideas that you would like to spend your money in and not sure, you can just please let us know and we will help you out on that. So we're just going to navigate a little bit about how we get to the finance page and how you can get to submit your purchase requests and stuff like that. Okay, get a little bit familiar with that, with the finance page. So the first thing you do is log in with your credentials in american.campuslab.com/engage, and you just put your credentials in there. Then you will land into the main page in here, and for everybody will look different depending on what membership you have. I just have a couple in here just as an example, but if you have different groups, organizations that you belong to, they will all show up in here, and it will also show up all the events that are happening. So this is a good place to be, so you can check and see what's happening around campus. Let's, for example, say that you're going to check into the organization that you belong to. I'm going to give example with the Center for Student Involvement, and you're going to go to the finance page of that organization. So we're going to pretend that we click in here, in the Center for Student Involvement. Once you click in there, it will take you to this, this is like the main page of the Center for Student Involvement. And where you see here, there is a manage organization. That's what you wanted to click. And once you click in there, it will take you to another page where you see this hamburger menu. Once you click in there, it will display the organizations that you have, that you belong to again. And you just wanted to go right here in this icon and click in there. And once you click on it, it will show you all the different organization tools that you have access to. Some people may see less than others, it depending on the position that you held within your organization. So they will allow you to see certain things or not. So most of you, I guess, if you're here, it's because you have access to the finance tab. So you are going to click in the finance tab, okay, which is this one. And this will land you into the accounts that you, or the finance page that you have for your organization, okay? What can you see in here? You're able to see budget, purchase, and funding requests, which we are going to talk a little bit about purchase and funding. You don't have to worry about the budget. You can follow here all the purchase requests that you have submitted and see what are the status that they have, if they are there have been review or it had been canceled or have been denied or they haven't been checked just yet. So if you wanted to know what is the status of the purchase request that you sent, this is the best way for you to be here, okay? You can also check for your all purchase requests that have you done through time, and you can just use these filters in here. Other thing you can do in here is you can go through the accounts that the organization have, and we're gonna check that in a second. And from here is where you're gonna see the tab to create purchase requests and funding requests, which is this one. Okay, so let's just pretend that you wanted to check the accounts that your organization have. Once you click in here, it will land you in the accounts that your organization have. You may have more than one. Some of you, or most of you, may have just one account, which is the one for the student activity fee account. So it will show you in here the description of that account. But some of you have revenue accounts. So that account also will show up in here as a second account. So it's most likely it's just one or two accounts that you will have. So if you want to see in detail each of the accounts, you can just click in it and it will take you inside and you're going to see like a statement of the account. We're just going to check it in a second. But I just wanted tell you very quick, this is just a quick view of what monies do you have available in your account, which will be helpful to see if you have enough money for the event or whatever it is that you're trying to do, maybe just a purchase. So please keep your eye open on this section where it says available, because this is really the money that you have available to spend, okay? Please disregard balance, because balance doesn't really tell you the story. Balance only get updated once we have closed completely a transaction, okay? So if we are in the process of working with a vendor, but we haven't finished paying it, that will not reflect in here. It only reflects the expenses once have been really dispersed, okay? So don't pay attention to this. Pay attention to the available. The available is the one that will tell you, yes, you have monies available to spend, okay? Now, if you want to be a little more find more details about the account, you just would click on each account, whichever you wanted to, and this will land you, like I mentioned, like a statement, bank statement kind of thing. And here you see a little bit more details of the account. Will show you all the requests that you have submitted, and it will show you all the transactions that you that we have as in the finance department that we have closed in your account. Okay, so requests and transactions, things that you can check in there. And again, you can see here the balance, the available funds. Encumbered funds is the one that we have not that you submitted, but we have not finished paying, so it will show up in there. Okay, so just keep your eyes in available funds. That's the most important part. So that's kind of like the details that you wanted to be familiar with. Again, just imagine this is a bank statement of your account. Okay, that's what it is. Very good. So now what we're gonna check is something that is very important if you want to start out having an event or purchases very soon. What are the steps that you will need to take? So the first thing that we're gonna check is how purchase requests work, okay? So what is a purchase request? A purchase request is a record of money that is being spent from your organization's account for a specific amount, okay? So in that way, you can follow exactly what is that you've been spending your money on. But before you submit the request, you have to ask yourself a few questions and follow a few steps. So the first question that you wanted, the first things that you wanted to ask yourself before you submit it is, have you met with your advisor? Okay. Very important that you meet with your advisor because they will tell you if your ideas, what you have planned, it really is something possible. If we can do it, and they will help you to see what is exactly the best ways to go about to be able to succeed with your event. Then you also wanted to make sure that you have confirmed the availability of funds in your account. So that's when we're talking about here to look at what is the availability. So if you have available money right here, then you can say, yes, I do. So I have the money. No, I don't. So maybe you have to go to plan B. And the next question is, have you gathered all the required documents? And we're going to talk about it in a second, okay? So just want to make clear, if you're reading here, it's only one request per vendor. This seems so simple, but it's a little bit complicated for sometimes to understand the difference. So if you have an event that you're planning, okay, but for this event, you have different vendors that you're going to have to pay. You have the speaker, for example, and also you may have someone that is doing the sound, for example, and you have to buy some materials for this event. So those are three different things that you will have to pay for, three different people. So you will submit a request, one request for each one of those, because we pay them separately, right? So one purchase request for the speaker, one purchase request for the Amazon purchase that we will do, for example, and one purchase request for this person that is going to do the sound for your event, for example. However, if you have two, if you wanted to do a purchase in Amazon and you're buying 10 items, for example, you do not submit a purchase request per item. Trust me, you may laugh, but it does happen. I get purchase requests for the same event for each item. So we don't need to do that. You don't have, that's extra work for you. You don't have to do that. If it's for the same event and it's from the same vendor, just submit one request for all of those items that you're going to get. And we're going to show you a little bit of how to go about that. Okay. So please, one request per vendor, that's what is the main point, and only for one vendor, if it's different items, you can include it in one request. Okay. So now, before you submit the request, please keep in mind the next timeline that CSI has created. We have worked with this timeline for the last year, and it worked very good. So we want to continue to enforce it so you can have a successful event. Okay. So it's a 5-week submission timeline. What is it that you're going to do during those 5 weeks? So the step one is initial submission and organization consultant meeting. So what you're going to do there is you're going to submit the event in Engage, and you're going to meet with your advisor to talk through your request. Okay, that's the first thing you will do. Step two is the approval or denial and the purchasing process. So if your event is approved, your supervisor said, yeah, this is good, we can move on with this. You're going to go ahead and submit the purchase request, okay? What do you have to attach in that purchase request? By now, if you follow the step one properly, you will have vendors' contact information, you may have a draft contract, you may have an invoice, a shopping cart, something that it shows what is it that you're doing and how much it's going to cost you, and etc. So you're going to attach that in the purchase request, okay? If the purchase request is approved now by our department, because the finance department also have to approve it. Once you submit it, we approve it in Engage. You will get an email of approval from us. You can also look it up in Engage, as I mentioned. You can look at all your purchase requests, but you also will get an email from us saying, yes, your purchase request has been approved. And if it's something that you need to buy, we're going to tell you to go ahead and schedule the Zoom meeting so we can meet in Zoom if we have to to process that purchase that we're doing. Or if we need any additional information that perhaps was missing, we will let you know in that email, okay? And then you wanted to schedule that Zoom meeting. If the event will require contract, well, there's a little bit different. So in that way, you will continue working with your CSI advisor, which you've been doing, and you will also work along with us, because now the finance department will need additional information from the vendor. So we're gonna start getting more involved with when it comes to the contract, okay? Now, step 3 is the event logistic and purchasing process. So in this case, the student event planning team work with the CSI advisor to plan logistics. The finance department will contact the vendor to collect the finance paperwork needed, including a PSA if it's necessary, or any other additional things that we will need for them to make sure that they will get paid in time, okay? And you will meet with the CSI finance for purchasing if it's needed. Step 4 and 5 is CSI complex event confirmation. So you will meet with the CSI graduate assistant for complex events confirmation. You will confirm the purchase delivery date and time with us. That is if you were ordering something. And we will also finalize the paperwork with the vendor. So hopefully by now, in this is step 5, we have everything that we need so your event can take place in a smooth way and have a successful event. After the event, it's very important that you complete a couple things. You need to submit the CSI event attendance form 3 days max after the event. Just want to explain to you why is that important. If you don't submit that, there is no way for me or for the finance department to know that your event took place. I don't get involved in that part. I don't know if your event took place. I just pay them or go through the paperwork and things like that. So if you don't let me know how I will pay your vendor, right? I cannot assume that it is, because something could have happened. It may have got canceled, or I don't know. So you will say it didn't take place for X, Y reason. So I cannot just go ahead and pay your vendor assuming that it took place, the event. So it's important that if you want your vendor to be paid in time, please submit this form so we will know. If not, you will get a nice email from your vendor saying, where is my money? And you don't want to get that, okay? Very good. So those are the submission timeline. Please review it again and again so you keep it in mind. So just keep in mind, 5 weeks before, if you're planning to have an event in October, just start counting the weeks. So to make sure that you will have it in time, okay? Very good. Now we're gonna see just a quick example of how to submit a purchase request. So just kind of you understand a little bit of how to do it. It's very simple. It's nothing complicated. So just give me a second. I'm gonna start sharing this, and I'm going to share the other screen. Bear with me. Okay. So here is this is the Center for Student Involvement page. So in here, we can see all the requests, as I mentioned to you. So here is the tab that I showed you earlier when it says create request. So you have 3 options in here. Right now, we're going to focus in the create purchase request. Okay. So you will click on that one and it will take you to this page. Let's move this for a minute out here. It will take you to this page, which you will fill it up. And I already fill it up to make my life easier and yours. Okay. So what do you put in there? So the subject. In the subject, there are 2 things that you need to put in there. You need to put the name of your vendor. If this is a speaker or this is a company that you're renting a place or something. So you're going to put the name, write the name in there. For example, I have in here GAM Entertainment Group. And if this is for a specific event that you're having, you're going to write the name of the event. Most of your event has names. So you're going to say this is for, in this case, I have here Culture Fest. If there is no name attached to it, it's okay. I just need the name of the vendor. But if it is, it's important that you attach it so we will know what is that exactly for, okay? Then you're going to, in the description, you're going to be a little bit more detail into what is exactly that you are having this vendor to do, and what do you need it, and how is it benefiting the organization as a whole. Okay, that's the description that you were gonna put in here. Then you're gonna write down the amount that you are requesting. categories. There's a lot of different categories that you can check. And it depends on what it is. If, for example, if you are having food, well, it will be food. If you are having perhaps some equipment that is for operating expenses, well, that's the one you can check. If you are having a contract or a speaker, here is, for example, a speaker. If you're renting a place, a space rental, and so on and so on. So there are different options in here. This is good for your accounting purpose as well, so you know what you're spending your money on, okay? And the account, so in here you will click which account is that this money is coming from. This is, if you only have one account, it will only show one account in here, but if you have revenue accounts, you wanna make sure you choose the correct account, because that's where I am getting the money from. So if you by mistake chose revenue, but it was really from the activity fee money, fortunately, I do not know that. I just go with what it was submitted in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take the money from your revenue, and you don't want that. So make sure you select the right one in here, okay? If you have more than one account. If not, you just click the one that is there. You just click select, and it will select the correct one, the one that you need in there. Pay information. I do not need all of this information. I just need the first name, and that's it. Okay. Who are we paying? That's all. Don't worry about the rest. In here, the funding source. So again, this is the allocation, meaning the student activity fee monies, or this is your revenue money. How is this person going to be paid? Are we paying them by check? Is something that is going to be paid by credit card, or if it's something that you're paying on another perhaps allocation that you're renting within American University, so it will be a university transfer, okay? If you choose the wrong one in here, no worry, I take care of that one once we are going back in our conversations. It's not a big issue, okay? This one is very important. Is this a co-sponsored event? If it is yes, please tell me with whom are you having this co-sponsorship and how much are they saying that they will pay, okay? So for example, it's KPU that you are having this event. They're helping you with $10,000, okay? Well, just write down KPU $10,000 and Women's Initiative is giving you $5,000. So once you do that, I'll know that I will expect a purchase request from KPU and from Women's Initiative as well for this co-sponsorship, okay? So please make sure that you write that in there. The date of the event, if this is a virtual or not event. This is just simple questions that are self-explanatory. As very important, this one is the purchase links. If you are having, I'll just give the example with Amazon because I know we all use Amazon a lot. And these are different items. Some people choose to send me the link for their, I don't know how they call it, like a cloud or something, that I can just go and see what you have in there. And I just click in there and it will take me exactly to the items that you want to buy. That's fine. But if you don't, just write in here or copy each link of each item that you are going to need, okay? Don't send me just a general link because that will not take me. I don't know what exactly which item, like let's say sodas. Which sodas do you need? Sometimes people send me just a link for all type of sodas that show up in there. I don't know which one do you want. I don't know exactly which one to pick. So please send me the exact link and the quantities of what we are going to get for you. Sometimes that's why we have to meet through Zoom to make sure we get this right. But if you are specific in here, we don't even have to meet through Zoom. So it's better for you because you don't have to spend time meeting with me. But if we do have to, well, it's not a problem either. Please upload a copy here of whatever it is that you have for this purchase request. If it's a contract, if it's a PSA, if it's invoice, and if it's a shopping cart, just upload it in here, okay? And any other information that you think is important for me to have for this, just there's plenty attachments here that you can make use of, so you can upload them, okay? And that's it. The same thing with travel. You just will attach the forms that they needed to be sent. If it's a hotel or it's a car or something, just upload it in here. And then you submit it. Once you submit it, it will come to me. It will come to me and I will see it, not quite right here, but because this is the Center for Student Involvement, but I will have my own page where it will come to me and I will just start approving it or checking and see if I need to contact you for any questions, okay? So that's how you submit a purchase request. It's very simple, as I mentioned, not really complicated. So bear with me, let me get out of this one. And go back to the presentation. Very good. Okay, so now we're gonna touch a little bit about different things that come along when you are having an event. So for example, co-sponsorships. So what is the responsibility of the organizer and what is the responsibility of the sponsors? Okay, so that's what I wanted you to see the difference, so you know what is it that you need to submit in Engage. So if you are the event organizer, so the organization responsible for the event will submit a purchase request for the total amount of the event. And it will follow the steps that we just outlined. So why the total? If you, let's say the event is $25,000 and you have two sponsors that one is paying 5 and the other one is paying 10. So meaning you're just having a balance of 10. So you just submit a request for your 10,000 you're responsible for? No. If you are the event organizer, you submit it for the total amount that the vendor will get. Okay, so 25,000 is what it costs this event. That's what you submitted for. But then you will tell me in that there's other people that will help, other organizations that will help you with. So that in that way, I will get the money from them. But if I don't get that from them, you are the one that I'm getting the money from to pay to your vendor. Okay, so that's why you need to submit it for the total. I will also need an email where you will show me the email, attach an email or some confirmation that yes, KPU said they are paying $10,000. Okay, I need something that proves that yes, I can go and get those $10,000 from them, even though they will have to submit a purchase request as well. But in the meantime, I need something that proves, okay, I will get those $10,000 here. Accounting does not move money from one account to the other if we don't have backup documentation, okay? And that email of agreement between you and the co-sponsor is the backup documentation that we will have for us to be able to get money from one organization and put it to the other, okay? So that's why that email is important. This is whether it's within organizations or with university departments, okay? So that's the responsibility of the organizer. Now the sponsor, what is their responsibility? So again, it can be with organizations or with another department from the university, but what they will do is they will submit a request for the amount that they say they were going to co-sponsor your event. So if they say that KPU was gonna give you 5,000, well, that's what they're going to submit. And in the request, they're going to choose that this is a co-sponsorship. And also they will tell me for what event and which organization is benefiting, okay? So that's what I need. The sponsors is a different way that they submit the purchase request because I need to know which organization is going that money for. And that's what they're supposed to put all of that information in there. A different thing is if, for example, you got Women's Initiative has an event and SAP is helping for that event, but they're not giving money to Women's Initiative. They're just saying, well, we're gonna pay for the food for that event. So in that case, you don't need to go through the co-sponsorship business here and there. You just submit a simple regular purchase request and you just say, this is for this event that Women's Initiative is having, but you don't have to do no email, no nothing, because you're just submitting a regular purchase request for such and such event, okay? And you just have to, again, as a co-sponsor, you have to follow the timeline as well, because still, if it's a purchase, for example, we need to make sure that you get in line to be able to get that item or that whatever it is that you're getting. We will have a lot of purchase requests in September and October and November, so please, the earliest that you get to start putting things in Engage, the quicker we will get to them and be able to get your stuff in the office for you, okay? So that's the co-sponsorship. Now, another very important item is when you're having contracted services. Why is this important? Because sometimes you make an agreement with a vendor and say, yes, we're gonna pay you $10,000 and we're gonna pay you those $10,000 before the event because they are requesting that. Well, American University has some specific rules when it comes to payments, okay? So this will be when a speaker, services, or anything that requires a contract or an invoice or a PSA, or and when it comes to invoice, I'm talking about invoice with terms and conditions, okay? So please follow or keep in mind these guidelines. Contracts must be reviewed by the advisor before submitting a purchase request, okay? Why? Because a lot of times those contracts says we need a deposit or we need to be paid before the event, and we don't do that. American University has a net TORI policy and no deposits. Net TORI meaning once the vendor finish submitting all the documents that they should submit and the event also has taken place already, we got 30 days, our American University has 30 days to pay them. So a lot of vendors will not accept that. So you cannot, perhaps you have a nice contract already set and everything, and boom, 2 weeks before that is when you realize, oops, but they're requiring this. And unfortunately, we cannot go around that rule. It has to be a net TORI policy, a net TORI payment, okay? And also another point, very important why we need this to start early is because anything that it has to be signed, again, contract or review by our contract department, it takes at least 4 weeks to be, sorry, one second. Sorry about that. My doggy decided to bark. So I was mentioned that the contract department handles a lot of contracts, not just the Center for Student Involvement contracts. It takes care of the whole university contracts. So they need at least 4 weeks to be able to go over the contract, and a lot of times has to be back and forth with the vendors. So it is important that you start working, if you have any of these events that require contracts or invoices or agreement, then you start working with them or working with us, following the timeline, the 5 weeks. So hopefully by the time that we are ready for your event, everything is being set up with or agreed upon with your contract, with your vendor, okay? So it's kind of like the contract services that is important that you keep in mind. We also have a preferred vendors, meaning vendors that you have used in the past, that they know our policy, so it's easy to work with them. So if you can continue working with them, that's great because they already know our policy, okay? Now we're gonna touch very quick in fundraising. Some of you have done that in the past or maybe interested in doing fundraising. So just want you to keep in mind a couple of things. Mandatory student activity fees may not be donated to non-organizations, okay? So we cannot use the student activity fee money and go ahead and donate it to an organization that you choose, okay? A recognized student organization may sponsor a fundraising program for the purpose of supporting a non-university organization, but only the net profits may be used for the contribution, okay? Only the net profits. The organization cannot make a profit out of it if you are using student activity fee money. However, if the organization organize a fundraising without using the student activity fee, you can feel free to use those proceeds as your revenue, okay? A lot of people, a lot of organizations do that. They decide to sell cookies or whatever is what you wanted to do and use that for your revenue money. So you can use it for other things, not using the activity fee money. So you feel free to do that, okay? There is a process on that. If you wanna make sure that we receive your money and we deposit in your account, you have to submit a funding request. We're going to show you in a moment. Or if you are doing a fundraising with an organization that wants to give you the money that they got in ACH form, we do have ACH information to give to them. You just have to reach out to us and we will facilitate it for you so you can give it to them, okay? Or you can put us in touch as well with them. No cash is accepted, so you cannot bring cash to the office and say, I sold these cookies and I have this, I don't know, $150 that we got from this, and here is the $150. No, we do not take cash. We can only do check, okay, only checks, or again, if it's a ACH, depending on if you're working with Chipotle or somebody else, okay? Once you give us the confirmation, or once we confirm that the ACH has been cleared, or your check is being cleared, the one that you brought, then you will see the funds in your account, in the revenue account, okay? Keep in mind, please, that CSI does not manage fundraiser for student organizations, okay? We are only here to help you with the money that you collected, so you can use it in the future. So we will take it, deposit it into your account, and you can use it in the future, okay? That's no problem for us. But we do not do GoFundMe or use Venmo or any other apps that they have out there, cash apps that they have out there to collect the money for you. That's all a responsibility that you wanted to, you will figure it out how you want to collect the money and bring it to us to deposit into your account, okay? I think that's it when it comes to fundraising. And now the deposits, how do we do the deposits of the money that you brought? Or sometimes you get checks from some other organizations that are giving you contributions. So how do you put the money in your revenue account? So you will submit a funding request, which I'm going to show you in a second, okay? Once you submit that funding request in Engage, you will drop the check out our office. And again, once it's being cleared, that the check is being cleared, the transaction will show up in your Engage account that now it is available for you to spend. So just going to show you very quick. This is also very simple. So just bear with me how to do the funding request, okay? Just bear with me for a second. So going back in here in the accounts, so again, create requests and funding requests. So here, the third option, create a funding request. You will click in it, and once you click on it, it will bring you right into this screen where it says create funding request. So keep in mind, purchase request is to spend the money, funding request is for you to get money from a fundraiser or fundraising or somebody that has sent you money, okay? So you're gonna put in here the subject, where did that money came from, or if it's a check that somebody is paying you, giving you dues or something, so the name of it, a little bit of the description, again, if it's a fundraiser, fundraising or dues, we're just gonna write it in there, the amount, the categories, same thing, it's the same as the purchase request in reality, the same format. Now in here is, sorry, I was going too fast in here. In the account, this is where you wanted to select the revenue account, okay? If you have a revenue account, this is where you're gonna select that one. I'm sorry, Center for Student Involvement does not have a revenue, so I don't have that sample. If you don't have a revenue account, it's because you have no revenue just yet. Not to worry, if you're thinking in having raise some money and you will need a revenue account, just let me know and I will create that account for you. So you will be able to submit the funding request and you will be able to have your money available in there, okay? So just let us know. If you don't, it's because most likely the organization has never had revenue, and that's the only reason, but it's not a complicated thing for me to create it for you. In here, you're gonna select that is a revenue, where you're getting the money from, and it's just regular questions. If this is invoice that somebody's paying you for some advertising or something that you did, and in here, you're gonna upload a copy of that check if possible, or a copy of that invoice. Great if you can upload a copy of the check, so it's proof, this is the check that I'm gonna drop, and this is the check that we are going to deposit. That would be great, okay? You just submit it, and I will take it from there. And well, once you deposit the check, well, not once you drop the check at the office, okay? If I'm not there, we have a front desk assistant. You can just leave it with them. And if they're not there for extra reason, anybody of our staff in our office can take the check for you. And I will email you, letting you know I got it. Or you can email me and say, hey, Luz, I dropped a check already, blah, blah, blah. And I will just send you an email confirming that, yes, I got it, okay? And in that way, you can keep track of your money. This is a very good tool for you to keep track of your revenue money. Very good. We're almost done. So just bear with me, a couple more things that we need to go over. And we'll be done. So hold on. So that's the funding request. Now, to fix. To fix is yeah, because most likely you haven't used it before, but to fix is the department that does services for us when, for example, you need electricity or you need lights. For example, if you have an event in the quad and you don't have electricity, there's no electricity in there, but you need electricity there, or you need the lights on. So you need to let them know so they will provide it for you, and that has a cost associated with. So how that works? So if you know that you will need to fix, and you will know if you need to fix, because from the very beginning that you meet with your advisor, you will go through all of the things that you will need for that event, okay? So if you need to fix, that will come up during the conversation with them. So the to fix, it's important that you requested it way in advance, because they cannot just out of the nowhere. They also have a staff that need to work, and they need to make sure that they have the people that they will need to be able to provide the service that you need. So you cannot tell them 2 days before, hey, I need this and that. It doesn't work like that. So you also have to keep in mind the timelines, please, in this case. So what you do is that they have a service portal. So you will go in there, and once you are submitting all the information that they will ask you, usually they will ask you for a GL account or for the account number. You do not have an account number to give to them, and they know that. So what you have to do is just tell them that you are a CSI organization, and that the only thing that you asking right now is to provide a quote, because this has to be approved as well. So once you have the quote, you will go ahead and submit the purchase request, and you will include in that purchase request that quote number that they gave you. Once we approve it in the office, we will contact to fix, and we are the ones that will give them your account number, okay, for them to go and charge it against your account. And once they have that, they will get back to you and, you know, finalize all the details that you guys need to finalize in regards to that event. So the most important is, please just keep in mind that they are a department that they need to make sure that they have the staff that they need for your event. So you have to let them know in advance. Otherwise, they will, unfortunately, they will say, no, we cannot take care of this. And if you didn't and you need electricity, guess what? You won't have an event with power if you need it, or no lights, and you will have to go to plan B. So please make sure you do this way in advance. The last one is subscriptions and renewals. A lot of your organizations have subscriptions, able to continue working. So it is important that please you have a log of those subscriptions. So you know what subscriptions do you have and when are they going to be renewed. Why is this important? Because if you do not know that they are going to be renewed next month, and perhaps the credit card that is in file, it's expired, well, it's not going to be renewed. So it's important that you do check on that and let me know that this is coming up and we need to update the credit card. So we will meet together, or usually I have the login information for you guys. So I can just go in there and update the credit card, okay? Another reason why it is important is because once you know that you have a subscription that is coming up, that is going to be renewed, you need to submit a purchase request as well for that subscription, so we can process it on our side, okay? And including there, please, the invoice in the purchase request that you will send. If you need to make any adjustment to your subscription, please feel free to contact your advisor first before you do any changes. You are not to make any changes, especially when it comes, we're talking about that you're gonna pay more because you upgraded it or something like that. You have to contact us. Well, contact your advisor first to see if that is approved. And then you just go through the same process of the purchase request, okay? Please do not wait to be contacted by your advisor or by us asking you to please submit the purchase request, okay? You know your subscriptions. Usually you guys get emails from them saying your subscription is up for renewal, such and such, so you know that's taking place. So do not wait for me or for your advisor saying, can you please submit the purchase request? Just be proactive and submit it, okay? We would really, really appreciate that. I think that's it for the presentation. If any additional information, we have some of our forms in our student involvement page. If you have any questions, you can always email the student involvement at American ADU, or you can email me directly, it's no problem. And we also have some links in here where you can find a few questions and answers for things that perhaps we didn't address in here. There's a lot of information in there that you can take a look at it, okay? I think that's it. I hope it was clear and helpful. And if you have any questions at this moment, please feel free to ask the question, and Davanta is going to answer all of them for you. Just kidding. Just if you have any questions, please feel free. And if not, you can also email them to us. Okay.
I actually had a question.
Go ahead.
So I am here for like the CAS undergraduate council, and basically our school set aside some money for us to use as well, but they said that in order for us to use it, they wanted us to transfer it get like you or somebody to request it from them so they can transfer it into like our like AUSG account, but I wasn't sure if that was like the proper process or like actually how to do that, if that made sense.
Yeah, we were, in fact, because this is the first time that we got this allocation individually to the undergraduate councils. So I think ASA is going to have a conversation with you guys exactly to see how is that going to be handled. Okay, but if it's going to be handled directly by you guys, that's why they want you to be here in this this training. So you will know if you're going to submit purchase request directly, you will know the process and, you know, all what we just went through. So just stick for a moment with ASA, and he will, I'm not sure who is he going to be talking with, but he's going to get back to all of you to see what is how it's exactly going to be handled. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. I'm sorry. We were just talking about that today as well to make sure which one, and that's what he mentioned, that he's going to have that meeting. So he'll take care of that with you guys. And there's a question in there. It says, if you are a new organization, is it normal that our budget is not reflected in engaged finance page balance? Which organization is this, Julia?
For SOC Undergraduate Council, but I believe that it was just answered in the chat.
Yes, great. One or the other, you will be able to either see it or it will be managed by SG, but we'll get back to you on that one ASAP, as soon as possible, okay?
Thank you.
And let's see, oh, Davante. Oh, you were answering that, Davante. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Sorry. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so if no questions, Those that just got here, please remember you will have to go through these videos that we're gonna put in there later on, okay? To make sure that you get the credits for it. And I'm not sure anything else, Devante, that you would like to close with. And if not, I just want to say thank you very much for being here. Definitely, we appreciate it, and we hope it was informative.
Oh, yeah. And the quiz and webinar will be posted soon. So after the final finance training on the 22nd, those should be coming out. So definitely be on the lookout for those and make sure you complete the quiz, and we'll be having you all write your organization as well. And I also took a record of who attended tonight as well. So thank you all for attending. And I look forward to connecting with you all throughout the year.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had a quick question. So I'm on the e-board of like 2 clubs, but when for tonight, when I RSVP, I put 1 club on. Could I still get credit for both clubs?
Yes, you can get credit for both clubs. When you do the quiz, it's going to ask you what organizations, and you can put both in there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Just a question, just to make sure, are we talking about clubs from AUCC or by any chance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Davante, what do you think? Because AUCC will be a little bit different for the budget.
As far as, oh, no, I'm saying they can represent 2 organizations to get credit for the training.
Oh, okay, never mind, you see, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, but should be all good. Hey, Jack,
Jack,
did you
you
have a
have any
question?
que-
Oh, my bad.
Okay, well, I think not. All right, Davante, so we will see you. Thank you very much.
All right, see you. Thank you so much. Great training.
Thank you, take care. I'll talk
All
to you
right.
tomorrow.
All right, talk to you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.